CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Right now on the afternoon edition, the tariff whiplash continues. They were supposed to start overnight, but President Trump has pressed pause, at least for now, while doubling down in the trade war with China. Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Yamamoto in for Ann Makovic. The Dow is in the green as markets respond to news that the White House is pausing reciprocal tariffs on most countries. Here's what we know so far. The 10% across-the-board tariffs are still in effect. Those started overnight. The larger reciprocal tariffs are paused for 90 days, except for China. The president says he's raising tariffs on China to 125%. He said those tariffs will start immediately. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said today this is part of President Trump's long-term trade strategy.
Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China.
Treasury Secretary Bessent says they've heard from more than 75 countries looking to make trade deals. He says they need the 90-day pause to give them time to negotiate.
Each one of these is going to be a separate, bespoke negotiation. So we are confident that, having seen the other side of where this could go, and it was like I said last week, the market didn't understand. Those were maximum levels. The countries can think about those levels as they come to us to bring down their tariffs.
Well, stocks soared on the news of most tariffs being paused. The Dow surging to 2,000 points. Here's a live look at the big board right now. The Dow is up about 2,200 points, hanging around about 39,000, close to 40,000 points this afternoon. So let's take a look at our interactive stock heat map. This is brought to you by FinViz, showing the top 500 stocks in real time. And green means the stock is up, and you can see most of that board lit up in green on news of the tariffs being paused. Well, joining me right now to break down what happens next is Neil Mahoney. He is a professor of economics at Stanford. So let's start with the markets. They surged when the pause was announced. So is this enough to make up for some of those recent drops?
I mean, it's been quite a week, right? For viewers with a 401k, they saw their 401k turn into a 201k. Now it's back to a 301k. So things are heading in the right direction. But the amount of uncertainty and chaos, I think, is going to weigh on the economy for a continued amount of time.
So let's talk about the economy. President Trump did raise the tariffs on China to 125%. So what kind of impact could that have on our prices?
Look, so the way I think about it is Trump had placed both hands on the economic stove. He's lifted up one hand. That's good. But the other hand is not only still on the stove, he's pushed it down harder, right? That he's ramping up the tariffs with China. He's left in place the 10% tariffs on every country. As you showed in your clip, the Treasury Secretary, is now going to be planning negotiations with dozens of other countries, and we'll see what happens. But I think one thing is certain is that the next 90 days are going to be incredibly uncertain. So if you're an investor thinking about, investing in a company, if you're an employer thinking about bringing on workers, if you're a consumer deciding, whether to buy a car or upgrade some furniture, there is good reason to sit on the sidelines and wait for all of this to resolve. And when people sit on the sidelines, that slows the economy down. So choppy waters ahead for the economy.
Yeah, choppy waters ahead. That roller coaster ride will continue for the next 90 days. So strap him in. All right, Neil Mahoney from Stanford, thank you very much for joining us.
All right.
And again, we're following the markets very closely this afternoon, and CBS News will have a special report just after the closing bell starting at 1 o'clock. And if you have questions about all things tariffs, we've got answers. Just head to the CBS News Instagram page and add your question in the comments on this post. You can also scan our QR code on your screen, and Money Watch experts Jill Schlesinger and Kelly O'Grady will join the Daily Report on 24/7 this afternoon to answer them. That special airs at 3 o'clock. You can watch on the free CBS News app. Also today, a federal appeals court cleared the way for Trump administration to fire thousands of probationary workers, halting a judge's order requiring them to be reinstated. The decision comes in a lawsuit filed by nearly 24 states, including California, that had argued the mass firings would cause irreparable burdens and expenses to support recently unemployed workers. They said at least 24,000 probationary employees have been terminated since Trump took office in January. The states could still seek further review. Avelo Airlines is planning to move its base operations out of Sonoma County Airport next month. This after it signed a contract with the Department of Homeland Security to start deportation charters from Arizona. The airline says it will cut half of its route out of the Santa Rosa base, but will still serve the area. It plans to use 3 Boeing planes for the deportation flights. Critics, including immigrant advocacy groups, have called for a boycott, but Avelo's CEO defended the move as essential for growth. Okay, to your first alert weather right now, let's give you a live look outside from Mount Diablo. You can see a little hazy out there, but it's definitely warming up. Let's check in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
And widespread throughout the bay, we're pretty much seeing these blue skies you see behind me. That's a live look from our rooftop here at KPIX in San Francisco. San Francisco today expected to hit the 70s. All the way up to 72 degrees this afternoon there, 77 in Santa Rosa, 75 in Petaluma. It is a warm day for us today. We're sitting above average, widespread throughout the Bay Area. Today is the warmest day of this week. We actually cool down just about a degree or 2 into our forecast tomorrow, heading into our Friday and Saturday. But before we get there, let's just enjoy what we have today. These blue skies, 80s in the forecast down into the Santa Clara Valley, anywhere from San Jose into Los Gatos. Taking a look behind me, the winds have been relatively light so far this morning. It'll get a little bit breezier into this afternoon. This is closer to around 5 o'clock tonight, so those winds moving in from offshore up to around 20, 25 miles per hour at max. Nothing to write home about. It's a beautiful day, and it's a warm day for a reason. High pressure has been parked just south of us, and that continues to move its way in. What that's doing is it keeps the storm track to the north of us. So the Pacific Northwest is going to get hit with some showers, but we're staying nice and dry for us here, and also above average too. I'll have more on this coming up in a bit. For now, back to you.
Jess, well, today State Farm will continue to make its case for a 17% emergency rate increase. The hearing began yesterday in Oakland. The company says after paying out claims for the LA wildfires, its surplus has dropped from $1 billion to $600 million. The hearing could go on for a couple of days. If the judge does side with State Farm, the increases could take effect in June. Well, the ballot counting continues in San Jose's special election. 7 candidates are running for a city council seat in District 3, which includes parts of downtown San Jose. Here's the latest count right now. With 88% of the votes in, Gabby Chavez Lopez is ahead with 29%, followed by Matthew Cuvero and Anthony Tordillos. If no candidate wins a majority of the vote, the 2 highest vote getters will head to a runoff on June 24th. The city of Santa Clara is celebrating the opening of a new neighborhood it's calling the Clara District.
3, 2, 1.
The Clara District boasts nearly 700 market rate and affordable homes between 2 new buildings, the Allure and the Clara, as well as a half-acre park. The city is hoping that this new district in Northern California creates an atmosphere and serves a new city center.
The launch of the Clara District really supports the city's vision for a vibrant, pedestrian-oriented neighborhood with a mix of residential, commercial, open space, all focused around the vision of a live, work, and play environment.
Well, Santa Clara has similar developments in the works with the hopes that they will provide more opportunities for jobs and housing. Still ahead at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, a new partnership for the Golden State Valkyries. How the team is ramping up its presence. And a park ranger reaching out how she's helping the unhoused in Golden Gate Park. Well, the Golden State Valkyries say they have their game face on with the help of Sephora. The team announced the partnership today. Their practice facility in downtown Oakland will now be called the Sephora Performance Center. There will also be a Sephora Sounds DJ booth at Chase Center. The Valkyries will make their debut at Chase Center next month, and fans can secure tickets starting later today. They will be available starting at 5 p.m. You can get them on Valkyries.com. The first preseason game is on May 6th, with the season starting on the 16th. CBS News Bay Area is the official home of the Valkyries' inaugural season. We'll bring you more than 30 games here on KPIX and on PIX Plus. More than 8,300 people are homeless in San Francisco. That's according to the city's latest survey. It's a big challenge for city leaders and community activists alike. But as our Itai Haab reports, one San Francisco park ranger is building bridges with the people living in Golden Gate Park in a very unusual but heartfelt way.
You won't find these trails on any official park map.
Just be careful here.
They wind down brush, past the trees, and into parts of Golden Gate Park most people don't even realize exist. But Amanda Barrows knows the way.
Hey, Roger.
She's a park ranger in San Francisco, but that job title doesn't quite cover it.
This is going to affect your health at some point.
On any given day, Barrows is part therapist, part caseworker, part lifeline.
I'm not coming in wagging my finger in some condescending sort of way. I'm coming from a place of how can I help, how can I support you?
Golden Gate Park is 1,000 acres of postcard beauty and an open-air shelter for those with nowhere to go. For years, the city tried to clear people out, issuing citations, only to watch them move right back. Then, in 2015, it created a different kind of ranger unit, one focused less on removing people.
Well, I don't want to bother you too much.
And more on reaching them. Barrows isn't the first to take the job, but some say she is the first to truly break through. 55-year-old Alburn Wilson has been homeless since he was 12. These days, he lives in the park with his girlfriend, his neighbor Will, and his dog Benji. He says Barrows connects in a way that feels more authentic somehow.
It's sort of nice to know somebody that, sort of knows what you're going through.
And maybe that's not an accident. She grew up in Boston's public housing. At 19, she moved to San Francisco with a couple of bags and $200 and spent the next 5 years without a permanent address.
I had people help me. Now I try to pay that forward, and I try to reach out and I try to help other people.
In her 4 years on the job, she's helped at least 50 people find housing. The wins don't come fast or always stick, but they do come.
Criminalizing, it doesn't work. What works is care and support.
Whether that model can be replicated is still a question.
She's someone who seems to have almost endless capacity for patience.
Raphael Mandelman, the president of the city's Board of Supervisors, is honoring Barrows for her work. He says she's one of a kind.
I'm not sure we can expect every homeless outreach worker, every police officer, every social worker to be an Amanda.
Barrows disagrees.
These are like skills that are available to everybody. You're honest, you're transparent, you do what you say you're going to do.
Because sometimes finding a way in is the first step to helping others.
Always good to see you.
Find their way out.
Let me know if you need anything.
Okay, back to our first alert weather right now. Let's give you a live look outside, looking at Coit Tower, looking nice and warm right now, bathing in the sunshine. So, Jess, you said it was going to get to 70 in San Francisco?
72 in San Francisco,
Ooh.
80s in our inland areas. Can you believe that? It feels like summer right now. With these blue skies behind me, too, it's a warm one for us this afternoon. Light winds moving in from offshore, giving some of our coastal areas some 60s. So we have a range, right? 60s along the coast in Half Moon Bay, upper 70s into the North Bay. 80s in the East Bay, anywhere from Concord over into Antioch at least. And hey, we're also seeing some 80s all the way down into the Santa Clara Valley. Now, heading into the next couple of days, we will cool down a degree or two day by day, but it's still above average for this time of year as this area of high pressure continues to push the storm track to the north, leaving us with warm, above average temperatures, and to add to that, dry conditions too, ultimately. So you take a look at our next 6 to 10 days, well, we're going to continue to see a similar trend. Above normal temperatures for us as we head into this weekend and early next week. At the same time, we're also taking a look at our rainfall outlook, and it's showing drier than normal conditions all throughout pretty much the West Coast. So let's actually see how that influences us here locally. You take a look at the next 7 days in our inland forecast. Areas like the East Bay and the Santa Clara Valley that you just saw sitting in the 80s, which is right behind me, we're still going to hold on tight to at least upper 70s throughout the next couple days. Dips down just a little bit as we head into our Saturday forecast, and then we're right back up to the upper 70s heading into Sunday and Monday of next week. It's warm, it's dry, it feels like summer for a lot of us here in the Bay Area. Let's be light on that, though. I mean, it could be a lot hotter for some of our East Bay areas for sure. I mean, 80s aren't bad, though. Get out there, get some fresh air today. It's a great day to take advantage of all this sunshine. Be very careful out there, too, along the coast. We're going to see gusty conditions into the evening hours tonight along our shoreline. We'll see 70s tomorrow, and then once we head into this weekend's forecast, we're flirting back and forth with 60s and 70s. And sunny skies pretty much each day, or at least partly cloudy conditions at times. Not a drop of rain in sight. It is warm for us during this time of year. It feels almost like fake summer in a way, but we'll keep you updated on that forecast here in the Weather Center. For now, I'm going to send it back over to you.
Well, another look at stocks this afternoon as President Trump paused most reciprocal tariffs. Here's a live look at the big board right now. The Dow is up 27, almost 2,800 points, now trending at 40,000. And with about 30 minutes left in trading day, and CBS News will have a special report just after the closing bell. And today, San Francisco is set to reveal the name of its newest park at Ocean Beach. It's part of the shutdown of the Great Highway. The park stretches from Lincoln Way to Slope Boulevard. Here are the 5 finalists for names. They are Playland Parkway, Sunset Dunes, Grape Parkway, Fog Line, and Plover Parkway. The park is set to open on Saturday with a community celebration. Well, that's it for the afternoon edition. Remember, we're streaming 24/7 on the free CBS News app. Our next newscast is at 5 o'clock. Have a great afternoon.